Hey everybody, welcome back to At the Table. It's getting really close to Thanksgiving, and if you haven't already, you may need to start thinking about your holiday menu. Today we're going to focus on some simple holiday side dishes and put a healthy spin on them, so changing them just slightly to make them a little healthier. Let's start out with the classic sweet potato casserole. So instead of putting this into a casserole dish, we're going to make little puffs. So to get started, you need about 2 pounds of sweet potatoes. I went ahead and roasted my sweet potatoes last night. I like roasting mine. I think it brings out the natural sugars of the sweet potatoes, and they're just yummy. So, and to roast, if you haven't done that, simplest way is just to set your oven to 400, 425. And I like to roast mine for an hour in the oven and then turn the oven off, keeping the door shut and letting the potatoes stay in there longer. To me, it just gets a more even cooking throughout the potato. So peel your potatoes and put the flesh into a bowl. It's just like you would make a sweet potato casserole. Nothing too different in the beginning, just mixing everything. Instead of adding like brown sugar or regular sugar or anything like that, we're going to be using orange juice today. I know that sounds a little odd, but what the orange juice does is enhance the sweetness already in the sweet potato. And there's natural sugars, of course, in the sweet potato and the orange juice. So there's no need to add extra sugar. All right, got that all peeled. Very good. Now I'm just gonna take a spoon and just kind of like mash these potatoes. You could use a potato masher. If you have a blender or a hand mixer, you could do that too. Now you don't, left a little bit of skin in there. And the end. Try to make sure you get all the skin out of there. Right. Now before you completely mash it all up, add in your orange juice. So this is 1/3 of a cup of orange juice. You can use bottled orange juice or you can squeeze a fresh orange because you are going to be using some orange zest. So this is about a tablespoon of orange zest. Mix that in. And also 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, ground nutmeg. All right, so we're gonna keep mixing this together. I probably should have brought out my hand mixer for this to get it a little smoother. Because now you don't have to put it in a piping bag. If you want to be a little extra like me to give it a very uniform shape whenever you put it onto the pan, you can do that. But you can just scoop it out into little spoonfuls, little mounds. All right. And it smells really good too. The smell of the sweet potato combined with that citrusy orange, it smells wonderful. And then you have the spice there from the nutmeg. All right, so I think I have that pretty well mixed. Slide this out of the way. And if you don't have a piping bag, a Ziploc bag works just as well. You don't have to go out and buy any special equipment. I'm just going to spoon this in here. Push it all the way down. This would be a good task for kids if you have young kids. So because you want like a larger opening, cut the tip pretty far up. There we go. I'm going to grab my cookie sheet here. You can line it with parchment paper or you can spray it with cooking spray, whatever works best for you. Let me move this out of the way. All right. We're just going to make these little puffs, these little mounds of sweet potato filling. All right. And then of course, as your pastry bag empties, just add some more in there. It's going to be a baby one here. And then after this, you can sprinkle it with some more nutmeg to give it a little browning on top. Or you can take crushed nuts. It could be walnuts, pecans, whatever, almonds, sprinkle it on top. And then you're going to bake these in the oven for about 20 minutes. Oven will be at 375. And you just kind of want to give a nice crust on the bottom. So I'm going to throw these in the oven. We're going to take a quick break and I'll see you whenever we come back.
Hey guys, Sydney and Jesse here from At the Table.
Are you enjoying the show? We want to hear from you.
We have a quick survey where you can tell us things you've learned, recipes you've tried, and how the show has impacted you. You'll be entered into a grand prize drawing. Check out our link or scan the QR code for more info.
Thank you for tuning in and cooking with us at the table.
Looking for training that leads to a high-demand, high-paying career? Bladen Community College can help you get there. Enroll in our welding program and gain the skills and expertise needed to excel in the industry and secure a successful future. Explore our HVAC program, where you will learn to install and service energy-efficient systems to keep homes and businesses comfortable year-round. Learn more at bladencc.edu or give us a call to get started today.
All right, we're back. So I've got the little sweet potato puffs in the oven. They're warming up, baking. And now we're going to work on green beans. So normally we like a lot of, either green bean casserole or green beans. We put like fatback or bacon in them. This is going to be a little bit of a twist, more of a sweet twist, but don't let that discourage you from trying this out. So you can use either fresh or frozen green beans here. I chose to go with frozen just because that eliminates a step in the prepping process. So you're going to put about a cup and a half of green beans into a pot with just enough water to just cover them, and then you're going to cook them till they are just crisp, just tender crisp. Okay, so let me turn the oven on, get that going. We're also going to be making a skinny gravy. Let me grab the drippings from the turkey that I roasted last night. All right, so these are all of my drippings. You can see all the fat on the top, so we want to get rid of all of that fat, hence the skinny gravy. Did I say dressing a while ago? I meant gravy, y'all. So this is pretty, it's still kind of liquidy, but it's solid enough that I can scoop this off with a spoon. So that's what we're going to do here. Let me grab a spoon. All right. That's all fat there. Scoop as much of that out as possible. And then you're going to say, but that's where the flavor's at. Yeah, there's some fat or some flavor in the fat, but all of this brown good stuff down here, that's flavor too. That's where all the flavor has caramelized, come together. So you're not going to get every bit of the fat out. So don't worry about getting all of it out. Get the majority of it out. So I'm going to put this into a small saucepan. And yes, it congeals up because you've got collagen and things like that from the turkey in there. And to that, we're going to add about 1.5 cups of vegetable broth. You could also use, if you happen to find turkey stock, you could use turkey stock, you could use chicken stock. I just wanted to use vegetable because I kind of feel like it's a neutral broth or stock. All right, so 1.5 cups of that. Pour it right there into that pan. All right. Let's give this a turn on and give it a quick whisk. And as it heats up, that really thick, those thick drippings that came out, they'll loosen up and thin out. Set that to the side. Throw a lid on. All right, so you're going to bring that to a boil. Whenever it gets to a boil, we'll add in some cornstarch just to help thicken that up. So continuing on with our green beans, we have our green beans on. They're warming up. Let me add a lid to that to keep that in there. So I said these green beans are going to be kind of sweet. So we're going to add cranberries in there along with some nuts. So I need to chop these nuts up first. And you can use whatever nuts you prefer in here. You could do almonds. Almonds usually pair really well with green beans. I just like walnuts. To me, they're more meatier. They have a more hearty, earthier taste. All right. And I would say like a rough fine chop, so it doesn't have to be uniform, but you don't want big chunks of the nuts in there either. All right. So I've got those chopped up. You're going to use about 2 tablespoons, and then also 2 tablespoons of, you can either use dried cranberries, frozen cranberries, fresh cranberries, whatever to your liking. To a skillet, you're going to add in about 2 teaspoons of olive oil, not too much here. All right. And once that gets going, once it heats up, starts to shimmer, we'll add in our cranberries and our walnuts. And you'll want to kind of saute those until the cranberries have softened up a bit. So I'm going to let this heat up. My green beans are still cooking. Gravy is warming up, or the broth is warming up. We are going to take a quick break. I'm going to check on our little puffs and see how they're doing. And whenever we come back, I will show you how to put the green beans together.
When we're connected, American communities thrive. As the internet connects more Americans every year, access to robust and reliable broadband is more important than ever for rural communities. The Universal Service Fund enables affordable, high-quality broadband, improves healthcare outcomes with access to telehealth options, gives children the education for a bright future, and allows business growth and job creation. The Universal Service Fund is expanding and sustaining connectivity for all, because when we're connected, America thrives.
Providing fewer commutes, more backyard offices, and crystal clear meetings. Providing less, you froze up, and more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
Ready to turn your creativity into a career? At Bladen Community College's Cosmetology Department, we're shaping the future of beauty one student at a time. From hairstyling and makeup to skincare and nails, you'll gain hands-on experience with real clients, expert instructors, and industry tools. Your career-focused degree or certificate in cosmetology is waiting. Learn more at bladencc.edu or give us a call to get started today.
All right, we're back. So I've got the, I'm sorry, not the almonds. I was talking about almonds. The walnuts and the cranberries toasted up. The cranberries are soft now, and that's what you kind of want them to plump back up a little bit. And that's what that heat and that olive oil does. So now that you have that nice and toasted, you're going to drain your green beans, of course, and then you're going to add those to the pan. And just saute those up. I'm going to turn my burner down just a tad because we don't want those walnuts to burn. At this point, you can add in other seasonings. You could add just a little bit of salt here. I'm going to sprinkle in just a little. Okay. And you could also add in, some lemon pepper here, just for a little bit of a zesty twist. All right. That looks good. And turn that burner off. Throw a lid on, and we're just going to move it over so it doesn't continue to cook. Now for our gravy, our skinny gravy. So I've got that broth to a boil. I want to say that I noticed as it was thinning up, there were lots of little bits in there. And I like a very smooth gravy. So if you're like me and you want to do that, once this is warmed, all you have to do is strain it into a measuring cup through a fine mesh strainer. I'm going to try to do this without making a mess. There we go. All right. Now it may not be perfect, but I got the majority of those little bits out, so it'll be a nice, smooth gravy. Set that over and pour your broth back into your pot because we're not finished with that pot just yet. Oh, I did make a mess. Look at that. Made a mess. So to thicken it up, we're going to add cornstarch to this. Whenever you're adding cornstarch to anything to thicken it up, you don't want to just dump it in there because whenever you do, all those little grains of the starch will swell up too quickly and you'll get clumps, and we don't want clumps. So the best thing to do here is with your cornstarch, you want to add cool water, or I'm going to add vegetable broth because flavor, we want flavor. I would add just a little bit. Probably going to do about 3 tablespoons maybe. I'm going to use this and just whisk it up. It's going to seem really thick at first, but I promise it works. All right. So get that nice and smooth. I'm going to turn my burner up just a little bit because we want this really hot. We want it boiling. All right. So I've got my cornstarch slurry here. And you want to whisk and pour at the same time. So whisk and slowly pour over the pot. Yep, got a little bit. You may have to come back and declump your cornstarch because it will happen. You got to work quick with cornstarch. Very good. Now you're just going to whisk this until you get your desired consistency or thickness. I'm going to let that cook a little bit to thicken up a little more, just constantly going back and whisking as needed. Alrighty. So I've got our gravy ready. I've got our green beans. The sweet potato puffs have come out of the oven. I'm going to get out that turkey and we're going to show you, or I'm going to show you how to carve it up in just a few minutes. So I'm going to take a quick break and I'll see you back.
If you're a small business owner or prospective entrepreneur, the Bladen Community College Small Business Center is here to help you. They offer free seminars to help you start or grow your existing business, and one-on-one counseling and assistance is available if needed. They can also provide you with community and statewide resources. Best of all of these services are free. Let the Bladen Community College Small Business Center help you turn your dreams into reality. Contact the Bladen Community College Small Business Center today.
Computer viruses, malware, and ransomware are out there. They're dangerous, and they can steal your identity and damage your equipment. Star Communications is now offering Protect IQ. This service adds an extra layer of protection to every device connected to your network, working quietly in the background. Star can help you protect yourself from the inside out with Protect IQ. Call Star today and take advantage of this free service when you sign up for whole home Wi-Fi with Star Communications.
Great communities attract talented people to live, work, and raise their families. We're committed to delivering future-proof broadband so our friends, families, and neighbors can live rich lives in smart rural communities across America. Your community is our community. We're your rural broadband partners. You do great things. We make great things possible.
All right, we are back. So just to finish these green beans off, we're gonna add, again, don't freak out because it's sweet, but just a little bit of honey. I would say maybe a teaspoon, just drizzle it over. And then this is where you can add other seasonings. Like I said, you could add them here as well. I'm gonna add just a little bit of oregano, just a little bit, not a lot. Give these green beans a good stir to melt that honey. Of course, make sure you go through and you taste, season, if you need more. All right, those are done. Again, I'm gonna add that lid back. Now let's talk this turkey. This was a very easy, simple roasted turkey breast. I did a whole breast, so it's just the breast, no wings, no legs. There's not as much to cook. I don't like the legs and the wings, so just give me the breast, give me the white meat. I did skin on. You can do skin off just to make it even healthier if you would like. You could even do just the breast. They sell those as well. I roasted this in a 350-degree oven for about 3 hours. It was about a 7-pound turkey breast, and I just seasoned it with seasonings I had in my pantry. I did paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, thyme, oregano, and then I just put my hand under the skin to loosen it up, rubbed those seasonings in there, and I brushed some olive oil over the skin. And then every 30 minutes, I would go in and I would baste the turkey. So using a baster, using those juices, that's gonna help keep your turkey nice and moist and not let it dry out. So now we're just going to cut into this and hopefully I am successful. So I like to use a serrated knife, and you just cut along. The skin is probably going to come off. I cook the skin because some people do like it. And this is cold. It was in the refrigerator overnight. So there's that piece. And you can cut this as thin or as thick as you'd like. Smells really good, y'all. Even not fresh out of the oven, it smells really good. All right, I'm just gonna cut those few pieces off. That way I can plate this up and show y'all what it would look like. I'm gonna cut this piece in half. So we have 2 pieces of turkey there. All right. Slide that out of the way. We've got our 2 pieces of turkey. Then we're gonna add this beautiful gravy. It really is pretty. It's a darker gravy, but that's okay. It's fine. It's just my bits got a little more brown. Grab a spoon. Put some green beans here on this plate. And then lastly, a little puff. Ooh, come here, little guy. We're going to put 2 on there. Those are pretty tiny. So there is a very easy, there wasn't any time-consuming task here for these sides. Made quick, small little changes instead of using lots of sugar in our sweet potato puffs. We utilized the sugars that were already naturally there in the sweet potato and added a little bit of orange juice to complement the sweetness of the sweet potato. We've got our green beans, different twists. We've got the cranberries in there, so that gives it a pop of zesty, tangy sweetness with a little bit of honey. You've got some crunch in there from the walnuts. And then we've got our turkey breast and the skinny gravy. So you've got a very healthy, yummy holiday meal here. So make sure you go out, get ready, get your turkey, get all your ingredients, get your menu prepped. And I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. So that's it for now, but I'll see you next time on At the Table.